Y'all, this story is breaking hearts all over. 19-year-old DaCara Thompson's parents are begging for answers, and all they really want is for their baby girl to come home. You can hear the pain in their voices. They've been saying, "It's been hard, baby. It's been hard." And honestly, the details about what happened to Dara just keep getting darker and more confusing by the day. Now, here's where things start. Dara's father said the last time he saw her was on the night of August 22nd. She texted him saying she was going to grab some gas and come right back, but she never showed up. Hours passed, and when her dad tried calling, she didn't pick up. By the next day, her family was panicking. They used their Find My Phone app to track her because Dara was the youngest of 5 siblings and the whole family shares locations. The last spot her phone pinged was near Jasmine Terrace and Riggs Road in Hyattsville. When they got there, they found her car just sitting there. And here's the strange part. Inside the car, police discovered all of Dara's belongings, her purse, her debit and credit cards, even $60 in cash. Everything was left behind, untouched. Think about it. Who goes somewhere in the middle of the night, parks illegally in front of a fire hydrant, leaves their purse in the car, and then disappears? None of it makes sense. And that's exactly why investigators are saying this case feels off from the start. But things got even more chilling when surveillance footage popped up. Cameras showed Dara around 3:06 a.m. on August 23rd, walking away from her white SUV and heading down Riggs Road. In the video, you can see her walk up to a black GMC Yukon Denali. She talks to the driver for a second, then walks around to the passenger side and gets into the car. That was the last time anyone saw her alive. Police traced that SUV back to a 35-year-old man from Bowie, Maryland, named Hugo Hernandez-Mendez. And here's the thing that really makes people scratch their heads. Why did Dara leave her purse behind if she was about to ride with Hugo? Was she planning on coming right back? Did she feel safe enough with him to leave her things? Or was she caught off guard and didn't realize what kind of danger she was walking into? And another big question is, how did Hugo even convince her to get into his car? Remember, her car was parked in a no parking zone. That tells us Dara wasn't planning to be gone for long. Was this meeting arranged ahead of time? Or was it something that happened in the moment? Nobody knows yet. One more thing. Most people who are up to no good, they'll take someone to a hotel or motel because it's harder to trace. But not Hugo. Nope. He brought Dara straight to his home, a place where multiple family members lived, including children. Why would he feel comfortable enough to do that? Why risk exposing everything to people inside the house? That's the part that has a lot of folks saying this whole thing feels bigger than just one random crime. Now y'all, things only get more heartbreaking from here. On August 31st, around 4:50 in the afternoon, Maryland State Police got a call about a disabled vehicle near Route 50 in Annapolis. When troopers showed up, they noticed something shocking. Down by the river embankment, about 30 feet below the short bridge, they saw a body. Days later, on September the 3rd, detectives met with Dara's family and confirmed their worst nightmare. It was her. Her family had to identify her using tattoos and jewelry. Imagine how painful that must have been for them. Detectives also said she had skull and facial fractures. It's almost too much to even think about, the kind of violence that must have taken place. But here's where the case really starts heating up. Investigators got their hands on search warrants, and when they went to Hugo's house, what they found was chilling. Inside, there was evidence that made this whole story even more gruesome. They discovered blood that they believe belonged to Dara. They also found one of her manicured fingernails broken off, along with hair, a wig, and multiple pairs of women's underwear and lingerie. Yes, you heard that right, other women's underwear. So now the big question is, was Dara the only victim? Or has Hugo been doing this before? Some folks are even whispering the words serial unaliver, because why else would a man have random women's underwear like trophies hidden in his bedroom? But let's not forget, this all happened in a house where other people were living. That's right. Family members and roommates were inside that home while all of this was going on. And some of them have already spoken to detectives. One cousin said she lived there with Hugo and a few others. She admitted that his behavior had changed a lot in the 2 weeks before everything went down. She even told detectives that she once urged Hugo to confess. Now think about that. What does she know that would make her tell him to come clean? Another roommate told police that on the night of August 23rd, they actually heard Hugo and Dara in the bedroom. They said it sounded like the two were having intercourse, but then they heard a grunting noise, like someone wasn't enjoying it. Hours later, when that roommate went outside, Hugo's GMC was gone. They thought it was odd, because Hugo usually never left the car anywhere overnight, especially on a Saturday when he wasn't working. Meanwhile, a different relative said federal immigration officers showed up at the house right after Hugo was taken in for questioning. And this time, they grabbed her husband. She swears her husband had nothing to do with the crime, but still she couldn't explain why ICE suddenly came for him too. Was it just bad timing? Or is there more this family knows but isn't saying? Detectives questioned everyone in that house, but Hugo was the only one not released. The rest of them, well, their stories leave more questions than answers. Were they covering for him? Were they scared? Or are they trying to protect themselves because maybe they saw or heard something they shouldn't have? And y'all, the more you look at this case, the more disturbing it gets. What's even scarier is how cold and calculated it all seems. Authorities believe Hugo unalived Dara inside his own bedroom, then calmly loaded her body into his SUV, drove along Route 50, and tossed her over the short bridge like she was disposable. Imagine having that kind of detachment, to treat a human life like garbage. It's chilling. And just when you think this case couldn't get any more twisted, here's where it goes to a whole other level. Authorities didn't just arrest Hugo, they hit him with first and second-degree murder charges. ICE also stepped in, calling him a criminal illegal alien and placing a detainer on him. That means not only is he facing murder charges, but his immigration status is also now in the spotlight. But here's the thing, this wasn't Hugo's first run-in with the law. Nope, not even close. Before Dara's name ever came into this nightmare, Hugo already had a long rap sheet. We're talking DUIs, not once but multiple times. He was caught driving drunk, caught with open bottles in his car, and even charged with reckless driving. He blew past red lights, ignored traffic signs, made unsafe lane changes. You name it, he did it. On top of that, he was even driving on a suspended license. Now you have to ask yourself, how was this man still walking around free after all that? How was he still out here driving and living life when the state had already told him to sit down? If he had been stopped sooner, would Dara still be alive today? That's the question so many people are asking, and it doesn't stop there. Detectives are now digging into whether Dara and Hugo actually knew each other before that night. Was this some random encounter? Or had they crossed paths before in a way we don't know about yet? Because if she felt safe enough to get into his car and leave her things behind, maybe there was more of a connection than we think. But y'all, the whispers in the community are even scarier. Some people are convinced that Hugo might be tied to other missing cases, not just Dara. Men and women from the area have gone missing, and just 2 days after Dara's body was found, another man was discovered unalived. Could this really be the work of one person? And if so, why was he collecting women's underwear and lingerie like trophies? The truth is, investigators don't have all the answers yet. The family members in that house may know more than they're letting on. The evidence points to something much bigger. And with rumors of more victims and a possible serial predator on the loose, the question is, what else is going to come out of this house of secrets? Stay glued, like, share, and subscribe for more juicy celebrity news.